And welcome back, and it is the last day of the month, the 31st of March. Let's just go straight to the first question for the higher plus 5 a day. Right, now even without reading the words, I can see this looks like a similar shaped question, and it is indeed, because it is mathematically similar. I can see I've got some lengths and I've got a volume, I think, here, just scanning through the question. So even though I may not need it all, I'm going to write down length, area and volume. Now it tells me two lengths, it tells me 10 and 14. So therefore I know the small one is 10 and the big one is 14, which means my scale factor is times 1.4 over 10, which actually is 7 over 5, isn't it? Yeah, so 7 over 5. Now the reason I've done that is it means my area scale factor, because it's just easy to do it, is 49 over 25, so squared. And my volume scale factor is a cube of that, which is 343 over 125. Right, all I've done so far is get my scale factors. Then what does it want me to do? So who's she? Mrs. Hampton has 2 bags of soil. Each contains 30 litres of soil. With the first bag fills 20 small pots. Okay, this is clever because the temptation here is to do 20 times a scale factor of 343 over 125. But of course that makes the volume. I'm sharing the same amount over a bigger volume, which actually means I need to divide because I'm going to have fewer pots filled. So therefore it's going to be 20 divided by 343 over 125, and that gives me 7.28 something. What does the question say? How many large pots can be completely filled? So the answer to that one is going to be 7 large pots. Good question. I like that one. Next question. Okay, pretty straightforward algebra question now after a sort of more difficult one. Step 1, I'm going to multiply by the denominator, which is going to give me ym plus 5y equals m plus 4. What do I want? I want m to be the subject. So collect all the m's on the left, so my minus m equals 4 minus 5y. So I'll move that over there and that over there. Then factorize out the m, or the thing I want to be the subject. So that's y minus 1 equals 4 minus 5y. And then just divide it through, which means that m is equal to 4 minus 5y over y minus 1. Good, straightforward but not easy question. Next question. Right, the point 512 lies on the circle with centre 00 right down the coordinates. Now, this is why we do lots of these questions, because straight away I'm thinking of a Pythagoras 5, 12, 13 triangle. No maths needed, I know my radius is 13. However, well, I can use that, can't I? So what have I got? I've got a circle, centre 0, and I know my radius is 13. So actually, I was going to do something different, but I'm going to explain 2 different lots of points. So the first points that are easy are just combination of 0, 13. So 0, 13, 0 minus 13, minus 13, 0, and which one am I missing? And 13, 0. The other one is combinations of 5 and 12. So I could have 5 and minus 12, 5 and 12, or minus 5 and 12, or minus 5 and minus 12. It just because the symmetry of the curve, it must be true for all parts going around the curve. And just to be clear, that means, I haven't actually written down the equation, but the equation, this is going to be x squared plus y squared equals, what's radius, 13 squared. As long as I can put an x value in here and a y value in here, and they both give me 13 squared, that's correct. Point is, much more than the 3 I needed, but I've got some answers there. Next and final question of the month. Right, we haven't seen one of these before, or at least I can't think that we've seen one for a long time. Now, the way to do these questions is it's going to give you, I'm going to give me some space down here. It's going to give you 2 coordinates, and in this case it wants a third coordinate, which is zooming again. So I'm going to take this coordinate here and call this A, and this coordinate here and call this B. So if I consider coordinate A, well, at the point x equals 2, y equals 50, so therefore it must be true that 50 is equal to A that I don't know times B that I don't know to the power of 2. And if I consider the coordinate B, well, that must be true that 6, 2, 5, 0, sounds terrible, but that will cancel down, is equal to A that I don't know times B that I don't know to the power of 5. What do I do with these equations? Well, I'm going to divide them out. I'm going to work out B divided by A. Why is that? Because you'll see lots of things cancel. So 6250, so calculate out. So 6250 divided by 50 is going to give me 125. A divided by A cancels out, or is 1, or however you want to think about it. B5 over B squared is B cubed, And that's handy because I know that if b to the power of 3 is 125, then the b is equal to 5, because 5 cubed is 125. So I've got my b. So if I go back to here, well, that means that 50 is equal to a, that I don't know, times b squared, and 5 squared is 25, which means that a is equal to 2. So I now know my equation, and my equation is equal to 2 times 5 to the power of x. So for the final part of the question, I'm going to put this point in here. So when I let x equal to -1, y is equal to 2 times 5 to the -1, which is 1 over 5, which is equal to 2/5, which means the answer to my question is p is equal to 2/5. What a good thinking through question, and what a really good sort of nice question for the end of the month. Do let me know how you did. Hopefully, two things. One, this sort of mix of questions has really helped you understand different topics. And two, hopefully you've kept with me throughout the month, but hopefully you've seen that actually these harder questions aren't too bad, with just a bit of sort of working through what you know, and sometimes a bit of hope, but we do tend to get there in the end. As ever, like, subscribe. See you next month. Thanks all.